I've got a question for you. How do you find unity after loss? I don't care what that loss is. Most of us would jump to the conclusion that the loss is the loss of a family member or a friend. Might be a loss of a pet to one of our children or grandchildren. Might be the loss of a job. Might be the loss of a relationship. Might be the loss of financial independence. Loss of a home. So put yourself in that perspective. I want you to answer that question. I want you to think, what's the greatest loss that you have? And after the fact, how did you find unity in that loss? Now, I'm Spanky Gibson. Gibson produces. We're back out here in the shop. And I've got all kinds of projects I'm working on, but I wanted to take a break and I just wanted to discuss this topic with each of you. So I would ask you, if you like this information, if you enjoy this video, comment on one of those losses and how you found unity in that loss. Share it with your friends. And more importantly, if you would, subscribe to Spanky Gibson Produces. Hit that notification bell because I'm going to have a lot of videos in the future, and I hope you would enjoy those too. So, my story. I'm laying in a hospital bed. It's 2006, late May. I'd lost my leg. And at the foot of my bed, I wake up. And this is one of the very first memories I have during my recovery. At the foot of my bed, in the hospital room in Bethesda, Maryland, is my mother sobbing. Of course, I'm an only child, so she's worried and scared. My ex-wife is next to her on one side, and on the other side is my soon-to-be next ex-wife. And I legitimately thought I was in hell. I really did. As crazy as that sounds, and I wasn't even really a Christian back then. But that's my first thought. I'm at my rock bottom. I'm laying in a bed. I had 17 years in the Marine Corps. I'm a gunnery sergeant E7. I've lost my leg. I'd been in the Marine Corps from 17 to the age of 35 at this point. So I'd spent my career. This is legitimately my adult career, is a career in the United States Marine Corps. So I'm sitting there thinking, this is probably one of the worst scenarios I could ever be in. But I found unity in that loss. My mom and my two exes, per se, came together to be at my bedside. That's how they found unity in loss. I found the unity because I thought I was going to lose my career. So I have to push forward. I have to get up. I have to be able to move forward in this life, no matter what the loss was. So I'm going to ask you, that's my story. What's your story? Comment if you're willing. I know this can be hard for a lot of people to dig deep into themselves and discuss maybe their worst loss ever, whatever that loss was. Because if we share this kind of information, somebody will get this. Somebody will see this video and they can go, wow, I've got it a lot worse, or they had it a lot worse. If they were able to overcome it, if they were able to talk about it, it can help. So I would ask you to do that. That's the importance of sharing it. Now, what are the actions we have to take? Simple. First, we have to look at ourselves and say, we're alive. We're still here. And no matter what that loss is, from one extreme to the least extreme. We still have to cover it the same way. And we have to look in the mirror and we have to tell ourselves we're upright and we have life ahead of us. So that's the very first step. What's the second step? We have to accept the situation that we're in. We have to know that whatever this loss is, it is somewhat temporary. The pain is temporary. And third, we have to unify in this loss. Now, how do we unify? You might unify by stepping up as a family leader or a job leader or whatever you might be. And you might say, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to take control. Here's how I did it in the past. When my dad died, and really before my dad died, probably a good solid year, I told my kids, my grandkids, I said, everybody, we're getting together once a month and we're going to have dinner with Dad. He's getting pretty sick. He was getting rough. And I said, we're going to do this every month. Did we miss a couple months? I'm sure we did. That's been 11 years ago. So try to get everybody together to make him happy, to make him feel good. Because you know he was staring at the end every day when he looked in the mirror. Then after he passed, I'm an only child. I took control of everything. I filed all the VA paperwork for my mom to get DIC benefits or support benefits. I tried to handle all the services, everything with the whole family. I then said, hey, we're going to keep going forward with these monthly dinners to support Mom, to support your grandma. And did we? Yeah, at the beginning we did. And then it kind of slowly dropped off over time. But by the time she passed away 5-6 years later, we weren't doing those monthly dinners. But that's how I tried to step up as a leader and help my family. Now, I know that's different than maybe the loss of a job or, loss of a home or definitely a loss of a pet. But you have to. Whether you're a leader or not a leader, whether you're outspoken or not outspoken, whether you think you're strong or you think you're weak, you have to. And funny enough, if everybody within your bubble of influence would step up, you'll get unity. And that's the other question I'd have for you. How do you think it's best to lead in these kind of situations? Would you rather let someone else handle the situation, or would you want to naturally step up, especially when no one else is willing to? Now, for me, my rank, how long I was in the Marine Corps, 22 years, I can't help it. Sometimes I don't need to be the one to step up and take charge of something. I just naturally do. And that doesn't always get accepted very well. So what I do is I just recognize, let the other person do it. And lean back and support them. Because remember, the unity portion of this loss isn't just stepping up and taking control. Sometimes it might be support of that, and then that triangle of influence, one person has total control, but disseminates or spreads out some of that responsibility and asks multiple people, you do this, you do that. And they just kind of herd the cats per se. And if you think about it, we all do this. We do this in not only these kind of scenarios we're talking about, but even in the proactive scenarios. That family dinner. Okay, you got a main course. You're bringing green beans. You're bringing mashed potatoes and gravy. You're bringing drinks. You're bringing rolls. You're bringing desserts. Think about it. We all do it. And it's funny enough, in the time of loss, when we do unify, we unify the same way that when we're ahead of the loss, like in my family's sake with my dad, and then eventually my mom. So open your thought process. Now, I appreciate you watching this video. Definitely, if you find something good out of this video, share it. Share it with somebody you know is going through some problems. And it's not all the answers. I'm not giving you an outlined approach on how to overcome loss or, more details on how to unify during loss. It's a simple 3 things. First, recognize where you're at. Second, accept it. And third, move forward because you have life. And that's the most important thing. Doesn't matter how low we are, we're not dead. And if we're not dead, we should find a way to either take charge of a situation, support those who might take charge around us, and do our best to get through it. So once again, I would ask you, comment. Let's share some dialogue. Now, I'm going to put some other videos in one of these corners, and I would ask you to watch those. And once again, if you subscribed, hit that notification bell for future videos. I thank you for making it to this point. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate your comments. I appreciate the dialogue. And just know we're alive. So we got to keep pushing forward, and we got to help each other out. I hope you all have a wonderful day.